I see myself. Hello, itself. This is a check-in video. It's gonna be pretty vague. So I just watched Full Spectrum Survival. Was it posted today or yesterday? I don't know. I think it was. It wasn't posted today because I saw the headline. He's in here cooking with his son outside on a propane cool camp propane burner. I'm gonna ask. So the house with the kids has a propane burner. Is it a dual? So you wouldn't be able to put a big, I don't even know if you could put a big pot. I got a bunch of stuff that you can use. I need to cure a huge, what's cooker? Where's the, not Danish, where is that European? Anyways, the big cooker where you're supposed to put a bunch of meat in. So I have this cooker with the lid, cast iron, and it's all, I boiled water and I had a big, or a small water pan and it got a hole in it. What happened? Did I have another? So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get, cast iron so I can use it. If the stuff hits the fan, I would go camping. It's kind of the same thing. Well, one's voluntary, one's not. But you got to prepare for both to survive. Go camping. If the stuff didn't hit the fan, you can go back to home. Build a fire if you had to out of, old furniture. I mean, it can't be particle board really, but school papers. I don't know. Build a fire. Put this on, and I'm gonna have to tell the kids to cure that. Put the oil in it and put it in the oven. Because I boiled some water in it once and it just was all red rust. We had boil water order. I had another pan. It was no, not Revereware. It was a different pan. It was like one of those that has like titanium and silver. Some of them had titanium and silver. It's like one of those, like Amway. It's one of those multi-level marketing or home sales things. Because I figure you could build a fire. It would be better if you if the stuff really hit the fan and you had to cook outdoors. Here's what I think. And I do cheese and I could do raw soups. I have some oh shoot, I keep forgetting about those mushrooms. These mushrooms might end up. I bought mushrooms twice and didn't even open the package. Oh shoot, especially maybe they're frozen. So here's the thing. If you use a fire, even you're just like, you could tell some of your burning trash. You use a fire and you cook some meat on a barbecue, like 4th of July, like in summer, you smell neighbors doing barbecues on Sundays and Saturdays and every day. It's a nice day out. Take a walk, you smell the barbecue. If the stuff hits the fan and you gotta get out, not get out of Dodge, but bug in, or get out of Dodge, and say it's an economic collapse and it's a martial law, it could be that you live next to millionaires and the stores are shut down, or there might not be any food because the truck's shut down, or the stores say that we have 3 days of food at the store. Now, I've gone through snowstorms and you could find all the water's gone. Some of my brand, the kind I like, are like artesian, pH, something water. I'll be lucky. That's the only type of water on the shelf. Did I buy Avion? Oh, I have Avion too. I do mineral waters. Because I'm vegan. I don't do like milk, calcium, like potassium. I don't even eat. I used to eat bananas every day. That's weird that I don't. I do mineral water before the car accident for the minerals for my nutritional balance as a supplement because I don't take multivitamins or minerals. And continued, I'd say, mineral water. Even I had lost my job. I had added this or re-added it to my diet. I couldn't drink it all the time or drink spring water because I was having severe muscle spasms from the spinal injury and neurological damage. Like, I'm still having these issues, right? Like, as we speak, it's not right. Um, So there could be different reasons. You could have money and not be able to get stuff, or you could have no money and there could be an abundance of stuff, or there could be a combination. You could have no money and there's no supply. Preppers were talking about going out. I'm kicking myself. Katrina was a good lesson to learn. I had thrown away a Katrina magazine because somebody cleaned my house and they threw out my National Geographic. It had a lot of pictures of black people and death and people on the roofs, and that was just a economic and racial disaster. To abandon these people, just leave them there. Don't even bring helicopters. Don't even lock them up in that Superdome. That is an excellent example of the extremes that you could go into in the midst of that was a hurricane. They were living in low-lying areas. People said that the conspiracy is that they exploded the levees, let that poor black area or poor area flood, so the wealthy people's neighborhoods would not flood, and that they chose to do the people are. I think there's videos where you can hear like surveillance, like people have the surveillance videos outside their business. So I kind of jumped around talking about, so these people, Full Spectrum Survival said they used the propane yesterday and not the wood because it had rained and everything was too wet. Because it's like, I don't know, you'd have to have a place to keep your wood dry. If you have some property and you look around and you can't see any neighbors, I feel like there's a lot you can do. As a child, I walked through the woods with my dog and stuff, so you could get on next to somebody's property line and like not purposely, but see, oh, what they're doing. Oh, they got a boat over there. You're not really. There's people like me that aren't really being nosy. It's like, that's your business. That's cool. It's like me, like the Joneses. Maybe I should get a boat, or wouldn't it be nice to get a boat and we can go fishing? I would be more prone to think, oh, good idea. Versus, oh, they got something. They got some food over there. Oh, they got this over there. I don't have that. If something happens or if they leave, I want to. I'm not devious. Oh, I'm gonna go steal what they have. Sometimes people get desperate. They got their kids and wife crying. They might go down to an abandoned house or a summer cabin and see if there's any food in the cupboard. They might break in the house and take 2 cans of beans worth 50 cents. It's not right, but sometimes out of desperation, people think different thoughts or have different motives or have different drives to be, this is hurting my hand, to be, survive. Like, it's different than the survival of the fittest. This is like really dirty. I'm like, how can I even see out of these? Let's go back to Katrina, because I had a dream last night that my partner we were in a room that was kind of like a shelter. You see what kind of shelters do they have? They show it on TV. Anyways, there's a disaster, there's a flood, people evacuate, they go to a school, they have a bunch of cots set up, they have no barriers, they got overhead lights, they have no barriers, they have no cubicles, they have no curtains that they set up. I mean, we had medical, those rolling white, those old-fashioned white screens. It's like a Asian screen that you put in a zigzag pattern so you can have we had clinics inside churches and community clinics in my medical school where we set up. We had a whole area over here where we had those white things, and you would take a big church classroom and divide it up into like 5 or 6 treatment rooms. And Chinese medicine, or an outside-in clinic, when I was going to Chinese medicine in the basement, I don't know if they still do it like this, they had a bunch of copper piping. They did the same thing. They had this heavy, not burlap, but canvas. They had this thick canvas between the patients' rooms, so that if you had to take clothes off, put them on, then they just open up to the computer. They had attached computers to the wall. They didn't have that first. You can hear people, But there's still a sense of I can talk and tell the truth and lay there and not feel. I feel like it takes away some dignity to have all these people in desperation giving the kids juice boxes, being able to have a cup of coffee in here. And but I mean, when it's a disaster, if you don't have anywhere to go, you can't go to a hotel. You end up there. You're grateful for if your house got blown over in a tornado. Like, you're grateful that you have a roof, you have electricity, you have a bathroom place you can wash your hands and wash up in the sink. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, they'll pass out clothing, like the forest fires too. They'll pass out clothing, food. Some of them let you bring dogs, and some of them you had to put the dogs in the gym in a cage. You know what I mean? But I had this dream last night that I had my boyfriend. We were in a room like that, but it was small. It wasn't like a gymnasium. It was like one of those classroom size, like a church classroom size. And everyone was awake. We were doing something the day before, everyone was, but it's like you had to say a cubicle. My boyfriend was over there, and he was still asleep, like laying down asleep, and everybody else in the place was up and active and talking, and I was on a computer, so it's like I was in a cube. It was almost like a prison, but it was like, why am I not in that area with my boyfriend? The girl next to me was like, she's like, oh, you need to wake your boyfriend up so he can be on a schedule, be up when everyone else is up. I said, okay, let me wake him up. And it was like a dream, so it was weird. It's almost like you go over there, it's like, oh, it's time to wake up. You're sitting back at your desk, very surreal. And I was typing something to him, and the lady next to me was like, oh, let me type something to him. I was like telling my boyfriend, he asked what dreams I had. I was fighting, but this is my boyfriend. This is me writing to him. You get, if you're single or whatever, you need to find your own man. Like, and then I woke up, and my alarm went off to go to Alan on Zoom. Like, sometimes you remember dreams because you get woken up. I had another dream that he had fallen in love with someone at the job, and I was really scared. And I had another dream that actually happened the same day as that one, and that was 2 or 3 weeks ago. The first dream was about talking about barrels, and that one came true. And the second dream, that other dream that night, was a nightmare. Back to Katrina. No, I got 2 things I want to say. I watched a bunch of videos about Katrina a few years ago. Remember, I had gotten on contact with a family member in 2016. I don't know if it was around then or not, because I had got laid off at the job in 2015. Katrina, the Superdome. They were like refugees, black people. I know refugees from Muslim countries that family members are separated. They got wives that had babies, and the husbands can't be reunited. The only way that they could try to visit and meet their child is they get smuggled in and out of countries, going across deserts. You see people on the news in boats, and some of them have life jackets, and boats collapse or fall under, and people die, and babies. I saw one the other day. I don't know where I saw this stuff. A baby had fallen into the water, and they couldn't find them. Recovered bodies. They got like 200 people on a boat that's designed for like 10 people. Like a boat, like not like a rowboat is what I'm talking about. Like, these crackers are good. I only got 2 packs of those. Going to Superdome. Somebody rescues you, or you evacuate before the hurricane, or before your area floods. However they get to the Superdome in Louisiana. Then they say, oh, you're going to get on a bus and go somewhere. Alright, then they say, well, we have to separate the family members. Like, maybe we're going to take the older people first, and the women with children are going to go somewhere, but they're not able to go with their partner, their husband, or boyfriend. They're sitting in the Superdome. No food, no water. I think they're going to go there with if they even have the clothes on their back. They showed people standing in long lines outside in the sun, in the heat, and the damp, dirty. You see people, women, children, babies on their backs, old people collapsing all over the place, people dying because they're standing out in the sun. People try and put their t-shirt, get their t-shirt wet, and take their shirt off like men, put it over their heads. They got try to see if they can get a wheelchair or a gurney because either someone collapsed or died out there in the heat. They had sexual assaults, multiple sexual assaults happen inside of the Superdome. People trying to sleep in there, saying they're going to come here, get on a bus, and be taken to safety. They got stuck there. They can't leave. They can't say, heck, my house might not even flooded, let me go back home. They're stuck there. It's like martial law, like, you cannot leave. Once you're in, you can't leave. You might have a relative who has a private jet who's gonna say, get a taxi to 50 miles away and I'm gonna take you to my house. You can't get out. Sorry right now. And then they put these people on buses. And they will reunite you with your relatives, don't worry. I mean, and then these people get on buses. They don't know. Nobody hears from anybody. I don't even know what happens in the story after that. I had been at Portland State, and there was a young woman. And this is really going to be gone. I would say I have some fake tuner when I eat this. So there was a young lady, and she had been a refugee from New Orleans. She was in Portland, Oregon. From New Orleans. That's amazing in my mind. They had transplanted you because you had no more life there. Now you're out here living, going to school, probably working. African American woman. I don't know. It's like, that's amazing. And I had said to myself, these guys were talking about army plates today. By the way, this thing is still. I had plates like that. I call them the institutional plates. I just say cranberry sauce. I'm making up stuff. Bread, cranberry sauce. I'll say tamale. I'll say beans and salad. This is being weird. And so there's another video. It's really good. I don't know if it's an hour. I think it's at least an hour. It might be 2 hours. It's a really good video. And this makes you think about prepping. And what Full Spectrum Survival will say, in the spring they said, do what you can now. Get what you can. If you have $10, go buy $10 worth of rice. No, he didn't talk about toilet paper, really. He didn't talk about... No, I'll talk about toilet paper, batteries. We got paper towels, soap, sanitizer, Band-Aids, over-the-counter. We don't have much, we got like herbal stuff. We don't have much Neosporin, and we don't have burn cream. That's something I need to add. We have I bought some of this stuff at Walgreens when they said you can only buy 2 medical from this whole wall. It's like you can only buy 2. And some of this stuff was like BOGO or buy one, get one half off. And you're like, well, I really want that and that, but if I do BOGO, I can get this and this and come back and get that and that. I don't think I've been back, really. I'm trying not to go in a lot of stores, but I'm trying not to do a lot of mail order. I'm running out of money. I already ran out of money. It's on credit. Everything is on credit. So I don't have the money. I'm buying rice, water, cleaning supplies, soaps on credit. See, Full Spectrum Survival, for a while it was like what he said 2-3 months ago is going on right now. So he's like, premonition, gift, or just looking at different types of news. This is stuff you can watch the regular news, listen to the regular news, say, okay, this happened in the White House today, this happened with COVID, this happened with unemployment rate, this happened with such schools, New York, LA, restaurant, blah, 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 blah. And then regular news, I don't know. Regular news is like hospital workers, but what's regular news? I don't know. That is a regular. I'm trying to think what they had on there before impeachment. But you hear that, but then there's another couple layers under that regular news where people are talking about things that you wish was more mainstream, or economics, or some different type of perspective on health care and vaccination. Okay, so back to this video. So this video about New Orleans. There's a white couple. I don't know if they had a baby, and I think they had another white couple. They had evacuated their home. I don't know if they had a home, but they were living in a hotel that had. Does they have an elevator? And this guy filmed a long time of him being in the room, and he was planning a trip to Walmart during Katrina or after Katrina. Like, what was it? Wasn't it months? Like, people were like literally like abandoned. So he had to go into Walmart, and I don't know if he had a weapon or not. I feel like there was another couple. Maybe he had left the other couple, the other man, to help take care of his family because he had to walk there. And he had shown this video. He had filmed himself going through the elevator. I don't know if he went to the elevator or the stairs. Like he said, so there gets to be looting and robbing and stuff. It's just anarchy. There's no police patrol. The police were in chaos as well. I want to tell you something. He had mentioned going to Walmart, and the police were in there, and people were looting. He said, the police said, like, the store was closed, there's no cashiers. The police said, come in. Like, I think he filmed it. It's like, take what you want. And the police were, like, walking out with stuff. He said, take what you want. I feel like I'm in the Matrix. I'm like, did this really happen? This was, what was this, 2010? I don't remember when that happened. It was before 2010, I thought. 2000. I don't know when it was. He had shown them, say, you go in and take what you want, and he had gotten a basket. Right? He didn't want to look rich, he didn't want to look wealthy, he had gotten a basket, and I don't know if he got, like, batteries, lighters, easy to heat, or ready to eat meals. He wasn't trying to be like, I'm gonna steal some TVs, or, it was just like if he had gone, I don't even know what he expected when he went there. I am not doing this verbatim, so I could be wrong, but this is the visual that I'm getting from my memory. So the main thing about that, on the way there and on the way back, there's looters, there's different people, there's people in desperation, there's people who have gone crazy, there's people that are floating around dead. They show that in the National Geographic, people floating up and down the flooded water. People on the roofs crying, please help us, please. And the helicopters in the news, and President Bush just go right over them. Destruction, whatever. There's a lot of black people down there. So this white man had, somehow he's like, I gotta cover up my stuff so I don't look like I got food and batteries and, whatever, napkins or toilet paper. And he ended up, I don't know if he tried to be like, I'm gonna look homeless. Because homeless could be vulnerable too, because like you got everything you own is in there. There might be something hidden in there. There might be some money, but he somehow had made it so he could kind of hide what he actually had as best he could, and push the shopping cart back to the hotel. And so if you watch the video, I have no idea how to find it, but it has a lot of him explaining and talking and showing stuff that you don't see in the newspaper. I was at work yesterday morning. I was very tired because I had another job the night before till midnight, and I had to leave at 6 a.m. I didn't end up driving away at like 6:10, so I was like hustling to get there. I had come back, and I was out in the middle of nowhere, near on an island for my job, where there's fishing and hunting, and there's houses and slow speed limits, and I came back, going back to go to another site that I need to go to, and the road was closed. And I said, oh, they're just doing road work, And we all went on a detour. It's a detour that way, and I swerved the car, which I should have done because you need to make sure nobody's in the shoulder turning. There was a road up there, and there was some vehicles, and there was police, and there was a sign that said detour here, so I turned here, and it actually ended up the detour was up there, and I drove, and then 10 other cars came behind me. I said, oh my god. And I was there first. And I was just taking my time, like, oh, I wonder where this road is. And I realized it was one of my piers, or one of my fishing landings. I said, oh, shoot. I was trying to turn around, and all these cars were blocking me, and I was just like, crap. I'm gonna squeeze out of here, because I had something to do, and I had a lot to do at work and after work. And my whole plan yesterday changed, and I'll discuss that maybe later in a future time. There was some protesters near there with American flags. I think I could see when I came out of the detour that there were some people here, and there's a bunch of police cars. And I had come in earlier, no, after this. So on the way to where I was going next, there was a bunch of police cars all over the place. There was police cars behind me. They were pulled over. There was unmarked cars that had lights on in them. There was another group of people standing there with American flags. I was like, are these Make America Great? Are they? They were. A couple people had red coats. I didn't know. I was like, is this a protest? Is this a vigil? Is this a parade? It's like holiday. Like there's like white people standing. So I saw at least 2 clumps of those. So I thought maybe with these people with American flags waving, that the people down there, then they had police around them, maybe to keep everything vigil, or not vigil, keep everything safe, like in case there's opposition or whatever. I don't know. I'm just speculating, guys. And this was approximately between 9 a.m. and 10, or 8, between maybe 8:45 and 10-ish. And I ended up having to go to this one job. I was on my way. I had to turn around and go to another fish or boat landing or marina, sorry, and for the job. And then I was coming in there, and there was an emergency 911 vehicle coming out, and he was in a, like, you know how you could tell someone's in a hurry, like they have to turn right or left, like pulled up almost in the street, and they're like waiting for the like me to turn, or they can get back to doing, like they're trying, like you can sense they're just like, come on, hurry up and get in here so I can go. And I was like, what is this emergency 911 services vehicle? And it's not like an ambulance or a fire truck, or it just says 911 services. I actually saw that vehicle later, but he looked like he was in a hurry. I had to call the supervisor. Our supervisor called me, and as I got off the phone, there was a helicopter. I was like, what kind of helicopter? Is that a surveillance? Like, is it a news? Like, what's it? Like, so loud. Like, boop, 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 boop. And I was like, I had to go back and finish my job, and I didn't want to talk and drive, so I had pulled up, and they had put out some surveillance cameras. And I was like, oh my god, I just pulled up right in front of the surveillance cameras, talking on my phone. I was like, I didn't take my 15-minute break yet, so we'll just call it. I was like, well, if they, that was my 10 minutes. My boyfriend had to go to work at that time anyway, so I was only trying to talk for 5 minutes. But I said, there's something weird going on. Like, you see police vehicles, and you see yellow lights. Somebody's doing construction. Normal. But there was something going on in my third eye, in my instincts, that's like it's almost like they're gonna have an activity happen, they're gonna shut the road or put some construction, because like I might be making stuff up, so you have that. I was like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's just construction. That's normal. But there could be something else going on. And the computers in the government were hacked, which I hadn't known about, and all this stuff. And I was like, I was listening to the news radio. I said, what? That happened? Oh, President's not saying, oh, they had people calling, giving their opinion. I love hearing their opinions. They might be right, they might be wrong. But what I like about customer, like people, everyday people calling in, it gives you a different perspective. It gives you a different way to think about it. It gives you a different way to say that's an idea, that's a theory. Because when you're on the news and you're on the Associated Press, is that not an opinion? You have a fact. You also have extreme bias with news. Certain news programs don't put how bad certain people really behave, and if it's just straight facts, they omit straight facts. So you can take something that's supposed to be non-biased and just give factual information. But if you say, oh, this is a great person, they're a serial killer, like, so the people that want to tell you the truth about that person, you just hear the person that supports that person, they're going to omit that information. That creates a bias, and that creates a hero, and that could work. You could like that person, maybe they're not a serial killer, maybe they got charged and didn't get convicted, and you could do the same thing. You like them, you can say, we're going to omit it, or we're going to say that this was false accusations. So anyways, that's a different story. So there was some other stuff going on. I was in a rural community, small towns, on an island near the water, where there's a lot of farmland. So there was a whole bunch of activity going on in that 10 to 15 minutes, including those helicopters. And I thought I saw that vehicle when I got back to headquarters to finish my work on the which I'm usually not. I'm usually out on the weekends or after hours, and I don't see the activity in the building full of life. Usually you may or may not see one or two people that are doing jobs on site at the parks and recs type stuff, parks and recreation and landings and fishing. Now I'm not trying to scare. I'm scared myself, but something was off yesterday. I've had a lot of stuff happen going to this town and coming back. Like, I had roadblocks because a tree fell over, like different things. I couldn't get back to my truck, to my personal vehicle, and all this. And there's this. So the reason that I'm telling this, what have you guys seen? You let me know. What have you guys seen? Are people in your neighborhood? If you watch the Preppers, like Full Spectrum Survival, and they say, "Hey, you guys, we're gonna see a lot of stuff missing from the shelves at the store." We got people that are notaries, like on the groups I'm on. They can't get a dual tray printer, laser printer. And I've seen one online that's available, and it might not even be there. If someone does just a general search, it's $1,000. I think this is a $200-something printer. It's $1,000. It's new in the box. I was like, should I just get a used one? Take a chance? What if I just got like a copy machine, like a literal copy machine? You see them in businesses. I think all of those are being rented. That's an idea though too. If somebody has some old supply, like sometimes those people come in and they maintain. I was like, that's got to be more than $1,000, but who knows? Who knows if you can lease it for $14 a month? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm gonna look into that. Computers, regular printers, Brother's out of printers. Some of the ink, I gotta order some more ink because I got some stuff I gotta do. Every time I get to the last, I luckily had bought some and had it stashed in the back because I had bought another set of ink. I want first in, first out, or something you bought before, or you use that first, right? You put the new stuff behind it. I think I did it out of order, but I need to get stuff like that, ink, toner, printer, ink. It's harder to find. You'll see in the stores, oh, they have sanitizer, oh, some hand wipes. Oh, there's some in there. There's a lot. There's 7th generation. There's no Clorox. There's Lysol. There's 3 cans of Lysol, or Safeway brand or whatever. And you'll see a whole empty shelf. And you'll be like, oh, but there's still available products. It's not a problem. March and April, it was a problem. People were hoarding toilet paper, but you can still go to the store and see, oh, they have one brand of toilet paper, Cottonelle. You might see that at 9:30 in the morning. But sometimes people report on the Facebook group, so there's nothing there at 1:30 in the afternoon. Now it's been gone for, they got a shipment in, and people were waiting for those big packs, and then they all balled them all out in an hour and a half. Like, I said, oh, there's plenty there. My boyfriend says, don't buy it. We have plenty. We don't need to take it from someone else. But then you might go back for 2 weeks, and there's still a blank spot there because they had that one shipment coming in. You know what I mean? Alcohol. They found we needed some rubbing alcohol. We didn't get the 91 what we wanted. We got the 70 at Target, but it had been gone for months. So there might be a ton of, like, there's Perel. It's like on my screen. I was like, that's not on my face. It's on the screen. There's Perel. I have a Perel that I was using for for the past couple of years. I was using the spray, the natural spray, the Clean Well with the thyme oil and stuff. But I left that in my vehicle, which I don't have right now, and it's really expired. But I don't think it really. It's expired, but I don't know if it's really. Anyways, I actually bought stuff so I can make my own because the alcohol was drying. So I had. Anyways, you might not be able to get the stuff you want, or there was like one Perel and like some mini hand sanitizers, and I was like, I'm gonna get this Perel. And I think I put it back. It was like it was in Target. This whole Perel section, there was one left. And I like the one, what is it? It has like a green leaf on it. I don't know if I think it's got aloe in it, the one I like. I don't think that one had aloe. I think they had some in the travel size. But of course, they're going to have all these no-name ones, like all these other brands, store brands, and I did buy some store brands before they put restrictions. I bought like almost all, but like 2 or 3 of the travel size. Let me show you the Up and Up brand. I like this. I had one before, years ago. I had the Perel one like this. It was my only hand sanitizer. That wasn't the natural stuff. Because I love these. I wish you could use it for something. I love these little dangles. Like, these are the most adorable. Some lady was talking to me like, they must be hard to be carrying around a thing on your purse strap. Like, I'm in my mind like, lady, you don't like it, don't do it. But who wants to like dig through their purse after they touched the door handle in the bathroom? It's like, it's dangling, it's there. And I have one in the car that's not dangling. Actually, I should dangle it somewhere. Yeah, this one has aloe in it. So I like the texture. Something I just love. It's like a baby toy. It makes me want to feel like I'm teasing it, chew on it. I'm weird. You get like these things you learn. We all were babies once, so you build your life on top of what you learn when you're an infant. You build your life and your wisdom on top of that. I had a young lady at Pizza Hut who was trying to clean the pans of dough. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I can't believe it. I let myself use the way things are working to make it easier for me. I think what it was she was taking another roll of dough and rolling it. You know how you do with Play-Doh? You roll it over the surface and it picks up all the little pieces. So we basically had to clean the pans as you pull the dough off. If there's stuff stuck to it and you're trying to pull on it, and if it's got like a screen and it's got holes and it's like impossible. But if she realized if you just roll the dough or like pull it off and let gravity roll it down, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. She's like 20 years old, and I thought about her the other day. I think about this sometimes. I was like, yeah, exactly. Because I was like, I already do that. I figured that out pretty fast. But I'm like intuitive and innovative, like, and I think too much outside the box. So if it's the normal way to do it, and people say you're not doing it right, I have my own way to do it, and my own way to do it might be like a miracle making like process. I was thinking about her the other day, saying, oh, if I could go back in time and say, hey, young lady, you're in your 20s and you just figured something out, and then you said that you let the earth and let gravity help you instead of going against that flow of energy, go with that flow of energy. It's almost like getting on a conveyor. I call them conveyor, at an airport where you can walk in, you can ride, so you don't have to walk, and you get out on those little strips. If you want to make it hard, you want to exercise, you go opposite of that. But if you're going to go opposite of that, while other people are on there with their baggage and their kids and their toddlers trying to pull a, little kid backpack or whatever on rollers, it's like, then that's messing up other people's lives. That's like, So there's times that where I do things weird, that would be for me when I'm running my business and when I'm alone. Go back into time. I was thinking of this woman, of this young lady. I was thinking, if I could go back in time, I say that young one is wisdom in the making. You are growing up. You are a day older every day I see you at work. And you figured something out that helps your life, and it gives you wisdom. And in the Bible, that wisdom turns into gray hair. And I got plenty of that. I have plenty of gray hair. It's like wisdom, biblical wisdom hair. And I think sometimes in the terms of Star Wars, what if I was able to get on a ship like the Millennium Falcon and go to a different place and look for something in a place called Tatooine? Like, what if I were to meet different, not just cultures and different, I was telling my boyfriend this morning, different cultures and different languages, and then there's aliens, so there's different literal beings, organisms. Like you have to go, you could maybe have to go light years. I don't know how distance, and like parsnips they call it in Star Wars. I mean, George Lucas made up this. It's George Lucas, right? He made up this whole story that's huge. And he had done the original Star Wars. His story was like this, but he could only make it like this because the producers or whoever helps you fund it and put it together gives you the go ahead and we're going to help support you. You can't do this right now. This is too much. But this has been going on. What has it been, 30 years now? 20, 30 years. This has been, Disney, the biggest thing in the world almost. It's going out like that. It's going like that. It's still going. It's still like story after story of, other people are making up something based on his original idea. It is science fiction. It's like normalized. And then you have the Force, and then you have the dark side, and then you have the Yoda and the Yoda-like things being able to levitate stuff, and the Jedi stuff, and the midi-chlorian. Like, you go and watch the little intricacies of the movie. You watch it over and over again and see something new each time. I always wonder why they don't use the bathroom. Maybe they have some kind of evaporating diaper. Wasn't that a thing? I'm going to write that down. There was like maybe it was a book I read or a story. I swear there was like an evaporating. It was like a story where they had to put this suit on, and it takes the moisture out, but it keeps the moisture in because you're like in a desert. Like, it's like a regulator, so you wear this suit and you're able to survive out in the elements and maintain your bodies. What was it? I read some. I got some sci-fi. Actually, I have fantasy booklets I got for free somewhere at the hospital or something. Because you can get magazines and stuff. I had carried one around and read some kind of bird. Spoiler alert, that story is super sad. It was like science fantasy and fiction. So it's like Asimov's, I think. It was like an anniversary edition. And I carry that thing around. It's a rag. It is like, I was like, oh, I probably could have kept this in a sleeve and sold it as an anniversary edition, but on eBay or whatever. It's okay. I had to wash these dishes out, speaking of which. But it's, again, the analogy that goes to my mind pretty much every day. Are you a frog that gets put in hot water and you feel burnt, so you jump out quick and say, I don't like that. That's not a situation. I can't survive that. I will die. Get out while you can, because you stay in there another second longer, you're going to be burnt to a crisp. Versus, oh, a bunch of frogs inside of a pot. Oh, this is cozy. This is nice. This water feels good. It's clean. Everyone else is in here. Everyone else is doing it. This is the standard. This is the rat race. Day in, day out, day in. And as you sit in there thinking this is the right thing, this is socially acceptable, everyone else is doing it, this is comfortable, you're getting warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer. And certainly at one point you're going to end up, oh my God, now it's hot. Oh my, what happened? All of a sudden, like, we've been fine. We've been running the rat race. We're going to work 9 to 5. We've been doing this. We've been doing that. Or like me, you getting crappy jobs where you're working 4 p.m. till 3 a.m. Like, with no benefits, lower wages than the people that work 9 to 5 or the people that work 10 to 4. Like, you don't have any health insurance. You don't have any retirement plan. And then all of a sudden, you can't get out of that rat race. You can't get out of that pot. It's the system has boiled you and put you into this conformity. So I think of preppers and sci-fi. I combine my lifestyle as a spiritual, prepping, and science fiction combination. And it's like, with a lot of, my counselor saw my face light up when I talked about medicine, regular and conventional and natural medicine together. I am a combination plus midwifery. I want to say guru. Like, that is my strength in life, is natural, conventional medicine and midwifery and geriatrics. So basically, preconception to death is basically my everything is health-wise, and I keep quiet about it. People don't hire me about it. My counselor saw my face light up when I talked about my patients calling and being able to do healthcare, and I said, I know that's how some naturopaths are very happy when they see patients and they talk to patients and they are able to do what you're called to do. Whether you decided, oh, let me be a naturopath, or I fell out of regular med school, let me go to here. Or there's different things you can go through. Or it's a calling. Something's gravitating you. Something gravitated me to Portland. Something gravitated me towards recovery. Something gravitated me to outside in. Something gravitated to me finding about Chinese medicine and naturopathic medicine, and not just go around the world and look for herbs and huts on Peace Corps, which I was going to do that. I was going to take a notebook, paper, pen, and go and check out these huts. So I wrote down the stuff about the, let me cover this one thing. I wrote down the stuff about the prepping video that I just watched, just because I like taking notes, and I'm not working today. I actually have to work from home today, and my boyfriend's going to be home soon, so I gotta go. But that boiling pan analogy with us frogs conforming, and I'm not saying to be an anarchist. I'm not saying to riot and say I don't follow rules. I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to steal my neighbor's car. Like, I'm saying that you're going to be an artist or a writer or a photographer or a naturopath doing telehealth. Like, you're going to be a doula where you're on call 24/7 and you're trying to get your equipment and your supplies and see if you can get in and out of hospitals during COVID or whatever. Like, you're going to maybe do something that's like sell on eBay or sell on Mercari or Poshmark. Oh, I'm going to go buy stuff and collect stuff and do this and do that. And then all of a sudden, what happens? People say, that's not a real job. You need to get a real job. Well, like Craigslist Hunter and Casey. What is Casey Paris's channel called? Kate, I can't remember. Anyways, new car, house, build a house from scratch, house with a pool, driving the electric BMW with the doors that go up sideways like that. They're trying to tell them that they're getting trashed, they're getting junk, they're selling used phones where they used to, selling old guitars and old t-shirts and pants. What are those, rock me, or no, I don't know, I don't even know the name. I was thinking rock and religion, or what is that one from Cole's? Anyways, different story. They're able to, it doesn't matter if they have a luxury car, a luxury house with a pool, or a built house on a property. They're able to pay for a home, vehicles, more than one, cell phone bill, all the other utilities, and buy food and be entertained by going out with their friends and family and being able to fly or drive to weddings and stuff and maintain a business, continue inventory, pay their taxes. They're able to live, whether they live in a small apartment, whether they live in an RV on the side of the road. Somehow these people, between their junk selling that people say is not a real job and then YouTubing about their situation, the money's coming in. And that, I believe in law of attraction to bring in abundance and blessings, and not in a selfish way like, God, I just want to bring in money so I can have fancy clothes and do my hair better than anyone else. But why not represent the godliness in the universe, saying, I'm able to get some clothes, I'm able to, even if I don't get my hair professionally done, I could buy some hair products, and even these headbands. These things can be, like, this one's like $12 on sale, on clearance, just for a tight piece of elastic going over my head. I might not have my nails done, but I can at least, if I have a home and a shower and water, I can go take a shower and get the clippers out, and as my nails are nasty. I put rubber gloves on at work, and they get dirty, really dirty from that. Probably sweat, and I think they get holes in the gloves. Anyways, that's a different story. Shoes. Keep the car running. We got a 1995 Honda. It's running like almost perfectly. It is actually nice. It is really raggedy. The inside. Someone used to smoke in there and stuff. But I just wanted to say that. Use your resources. I'm watching these prepper videos. I'm scared. I'm feeling like I'm that slow boiling. I sense that I'm slowly boiling, and I'm saying, this guy's talking like we got a nuke coming towards us right now, and that we got to hit our bunkers, our underground bunkers today, and that we have to have a bug out bag, and that we got preps, and we got water, and we got soaps, and we got sanitizer, and we got jars of honey. But this guy's talking, you have your land, and you have your propane, and you have your chickens with their eggs. You need that now. You should have already had that. And you need to also be able to grow your own food, have a heirloom organic seeds, and you need to be able to have that on your property, and you need to be able to bug out. Even the other hobby farms, Pine Meadow Hobby Farms. He does the self-sustain. People try to do solar and battery generator, lead acid batteries, so you can put in windmills and stuff, or wind power turbines. All this kind of alternate things. You can be off the grid or work towards not being dependent on hunting, fishing, farming, livestock. People do rabbits like that, cattle, pigs, small fowl, and chickens. So like simple things. That guy had to flee Pine Meadow Hobby Farms because of the forest fire, or because his own barn caught on fire. He might lose everything. He had had 2 RVs for the National Forest Fire. They had evacuation, so he had to put his stuff and take his family to a so-called safe spot. And the forest fires in Oregon last summer. God, I almost forgot. How could I forget about that? Our house was let's say 6 blocks from the pre-evacuation zone, and we live in the city. Like, we don't live downtown, but we live in the city limits with the cement, and the downtown is right up the highway, 10 minutes. If you drive like faster than the speed limit, you'll get there in like 6. Literally be in downtown Portland in 6-minute drive, and we were 6 blocks from a pre-evacuation zone. Like, to get ready, get set, go. Just get ready, get set, and go. We were near the get ready one, but so we had to get ready and get the stuff ready. But you never know. I've had personal crises in my life where the world's doing well, like September 11th, or the world's doing bad or well, and I have a personal crisis. Prepping gets you ready for a personal crisis. When there's a personal crisis, all the food banks, all the food stamp people, are they going to be like, oh, we're going to change the rules, and there's an economic collapse or a huge joblessness rate or whatever other reason, they're going to have COVID relief package. They're going to have more food at the food bank. Some of the restaurants that are not able to be open are going to donate something, get a tax write-off for that, but they're going to donate stuff. They might have to because their food is going to go bad, So there's different things when it's a global or a local or a national crisis. But if you're like me and you had your own crises without a national crisis, or September 11th when I went to Portland, we had a personal crisis because my check, no one would cash my check because they put it in my maiden name, and we had September 11th, the planes were shut down, people were paranoid, people thought it was World War III. I had just come out of woods living in a tent to town, didn't have a place to go, went to a hotel. If I had money, I had 2 birds. I couldn't leave in the car because it was cold. So there's just like no help. Last week or the week before, Full Spectrum Survival has some videos on who are you going to help, who's coming knocking at your door, write a plan now, who are you going to help. You're going to help you, your partner, your kids. Like this, I'm just saying, like, think about it, make your list. Are you going to help your neighbors next door? Are you going to help your mother, father that are states away? You're going to help your brother. Does your brother make fun of you because you're prepping this and that, and they have all this money, they're flaunting all this stuff, and they waste it, and when you lost your job, like this is what happened to me. When I lost my job, when I was homeless, when I was living outside with children and in a homeless shelter with children, who helped me? Did my dad help me? Did my brother? Did my aunt, uncle? Did my cousins? No. I'm an adult. They're not responsible to pay for me and my kids to live in a house or apartment or hotel. Could they have given us $10-$20 so that I could buy the kids some diapers and maybe a milkshake or something? Like, give them something to take your mind off the poverty. No, they didn't give me $10-$20. Should they have? No, they didn't have to. But what I wanted is for someone to talk to. For someone to say that, you said you're a Christian, can you pray for us? Can you be a support person, because I'm getting clean sober right now at the same time, and life seems a lot harder. Life on life's terms seems harder being sober, because you don't have to be able to take the edge off, and it's like the devil wants you to continue that promiscuous and risky life, where you can end up one move, same move you're already doing, certain thing happens, you're in jail potentially for years to decades to life. One thing, or you're in an apartment. Oh, this is my cousin's house. Oh, they might want to smoke a bowl with you. They might end up being, meth dealers or murder meth lab with children in the house, and cops might come and you might be sitting in the bathroom, and they might all flee out the back door and get in a van, and you come out, you're the only one in the house. And by association, they're like, put your hands up. You're in a house with weapons, with drugs, with this. If they're on pot, or that person decided to take a bump or something, then they're going to run a dirty drug test, and your life's changed just because you decided to ride along with someone to take 3 puffs out of a, cannabis product, right? You know what I mean? So that part of life is Russian roulette. But the type of life, it's like the devil always gets you money, always gets you right, always gets you the next party. You got some cute clothes, you got a skinny body, because you're not thinking about, oh, am I going to eat this whole bag of freaking... No, you're going to do a bag of something else, and then you're going to have to go figure out how to get more money so you can replace those little baggies, But life on life's terms, trying to raise the kids, put them in school, trying to pay rent, low-income rent is costing $500-$600 more per month. A regular house on an acre of land is $900, but the low-income housing is $1,300. Smaller, doesn't have any garage. All of this stuff doesn't have a nice school district. It makes it real hard. So I'm not trying to say who helped you and who didn't help you. Make that a decision. Oh, I'm not going to help such and such relative because they never even, when I called, they hung up the phone on me and said, sorry, we're busy. We don't want to talk to you. We don't like talking to you. We don't like hearing your drama. I had people say, don't talk to me about your life. It's too much. I said, that is fine, but I'm not going to talk to you about anything else. Because you're in a bubble. You're in a world where you're selfish. And I'm not. I'll say, oh, I can tone it down. I'm not going to talk about a lot of stuff. I said I was going to a funeral and somebody freaked out about my life. It's too much for them to deal with. But usually someone says you go to a funeral, you say, oh, my deepest condolences. I have sympathy. Let me know if you need anything. If I hear someone saying they're going to a funeral, their relative died or their friend died, I usually say I'm sending good thoughts your way. If they don't believe in prayer, I say I'm sending good thoughts your way and all this. But you have people like that. They want to be in their bubble. And they want to spew out everything about their life and how much they hate this, and they don't like their kid or their family, and they're going to tell people what to do, and they're telling people like how much they hate this and blah blah blah. And then you say a couple things like, oh, I'm struggling. Oh, I can't afford food today. But I'm making do, my higher power, and they're like, your life is too much. So it's like they can vomit everything out on you, but you're not even able to say 2 or 3 things. They want you to just be there for you to just bow down and be like, oh yes, you're fine. Oh yes, I'm here to listen. Oh yes, And so it's not about trying to punish someone and say, well, you didn't help me before. It's like the little red hen. That's my favorite story. That's happened with me and my kids. None of these people helped me, and then they're gonna think we don't want to hang out with her because she's poor and she might steal from us, or she's not in our clique. People even counsel, oh, how do you feel going to 12-step meetings with the people around this, well, you're talking about me being a poor black lady and going to a meeting with some wealthy looking white women? Is that what you're saying? Some educated, some people that have their husbands that have retirement accounts, they have vacation homes and boats. It's like, a person's a person. It's an anonymous program. On Zoom, yeah, you can see that their house is nicer than mine, But it's an anonymous program. It's about, what are they saying? How supportive are they? What kind of tips are we giving each other? With the 12 steps and a higher power working through us. Whether I'm sitting on the street laying on a cardboard box and someone else is in a 99% of people can be in a mansion. I'm living in a low income place. I'm human. I've been there pretty much. I've been there in there 16 years. So people can assume that I wouldn't fit in with these people. It's not about, oh, a poor black person can't be in a meeting with a rich white person. It's about, am I honest? Am I loving? Am I compassionate? Do I have some wisdom in the program? I want to read my program book. I'm getting all hyped up. My boyfriend's going to be home soon. I gotta try to sneak around and make him some pork. The only other thing is, it's talking about Little Red Hen. You want to be able to help everyone. I used to do this, and I used to tithe money and give away my welfare and food stamp food to the church and get the best stuff. And I'd pass stuff out to the neighbors, and kids would say that was the worst cookies, whole grain, organic butter, organic flour. They'd say those are the worst cookies I've ever had in my life. I thought they were really good. Got used to whole grains, so that there's a different taste. There's a little bit of bitterness. You get some health food brand chocolate chips or dark chocolate chips with organic sugar, turbinado sugar, whatever you call it, or real thick brown sugar, not the bleached and molasses sugar. You get all that stuff. It tastes different. It tastes whole. It tastes full. It tastes strong, like real molasses. It tastes strong inside cookies. It's the people that flaunted their wealth, refused to visit, refused to call. You can see them on Facebook going all over the world. Oh, we can't go. I was like, you were 200 miles from me. I could have met you where you are. They don't even want to let you talk to them. If those people come begging to me, I'm going to make a decision based on my higher power. Do I help them or not? And I don't want to be revengeful and say, well, you never helped me, so I'm not going to help you. But I'm going to ask my higher power. When I was doing that welfare stuff, we were struggling even worse because we were giving away the few nuggets that we had. And I hope that God, with the karma tattoo, I hope that God can compensate us, me, my kids, and my family, and my love, and my boyfriend, for all that we have done and what we owe others, or what we owe others. We owe others because we're giving. If we borrowed from someone and gave to somebody else, and these people were like vultures, just waiting for us to throw something out so they could snatch it up. And then when you say, "Oh, I'm desperate. I don't want to ask for help. It's very hard, but I feel like God's telling me to help." Well, we don't help people like you, and you're selfish, and you're poor, and you don't donate like the church. Well, you guys aren't the accountants there. You don't know how much I donate. Tens of thousands of dollars. I had nothing. I could have used that money to buy a house. If I had saved that money for the first 5 years of sobriety, I would have been able to buy. Well, I would have been able to buy half of a mortgage cash. If I had saved every penny and write a cashier's check. But instead I gave it to the church. They can try to tell me, assume that I'm not donating, and the rich families are the ones that weren't tithing and they weren't offering. And they just assumed. They didn't look at the books. They let the money people look at the books. The only time they look at the books, once in a while, someone's saying, oh, we're not getting enough money. We're not able to pay our expenses. Pastors are going to take it out of your personal. Say, well, who's tithing, who's not? Well, they don't even think about people that they're praising about tithing. Those people aren't tithing. Their name's not on the list, so they're not even thinking about them. But someone else might have sold a house and given them, $20,000. This rich doctor might sell their house for $500,000. When they bought it for $100,000, they're gonna throw down a check for $20,000. They're only doing it just to get their tax refund, to get a tax break. They're doing it so they can itemize their tax bill, right? So, well, this is the amount that I would. It's either gonna go to the IRS or it's gonna go to them, or whatever however that works. That I haven't been able to itemize. You're just a false Luke.